Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It is Lillian, if you didn't know, or if you're new, I don't know. But besides that, let me fix that right there. That looked a little wonky. But besides that, today I was thinking of going into the unsolved mystery of Dorothy Jane Scott. So I haven't heard of this one. I've never heard. I watch a lot of unsolved mysteries, and I've always wanted to do one. So, or murder. It's a murder. It's not. I mean, it's a mystery, but it's a murder. But besides that, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new and you haven't already subscribed, because your girl's trying to get, up on the ranks, and turn on the notification bell. But besides that, let's just go right on into the okay. So, hey Midas, what? Shh! Stop interrupting. He keeps interrupting. Okay, so today I was thinking we would be talking about Dorothy Jane Scott mysterious murder. So we're just gonna dive exactly right. Yeah, you tired? We're gonna dive right on in. So, to start off, Dorothy Jane Scott disappeared from a parking lot at the hospital in the middle of the night in 1980, not on. So, leading up to her disappearance, she had been receiving phone calls from someone. And this mysterious caller would say things like, "When I get you alone, I will cut you up into bits so no one will ever find you." Scary. But this was not the first phone call she had received, And the thing is that she recognized the voice. She recognized it, but she couldn't pinpoint exactly who was the person behind it, who was the person who had that voice. So, since early in 1980, Scott, who was a single mother with a 4-year-old son named Sean, they had been receiving these threatening calls at her aunt's home in Stanton, California, where she and Sean lived at the time. And at times, what was really weird was that the caller was not always threatening her. At times, the person would call and they would be fawning over her. They'd be professing his love for Scott and making romantic gestures and his language and everything. But besides that, otherwise, he was being violent and threatening and just saying really things that he was going to harm her in unspeakable ways. So what the fuck, I can't breathe. But that's it wasn't all. So it was more like an obsessive person. But the thing is that not only would this caller call her and say these things to her, he made sure that she knew he was watching her. So he would tell her about her day-to-day things. He would be like, "You did this today." He would literally tell her day-to-day life and what was happening in her life. So, but not only did he do that, in one incident, he even told her to go outside because he had something for her. So the thing is, when she went outside to her car, she saw there was one single dead rose on the windshield. And so the calls did unsettle Scott and her family, but no one was quite sure what exactly to do about them. So they did sadly go unreported. But then on the night of May 28, 1980, Scott dropped off her son with her parents so that she could attend a staff meeting where she worked. So during the meeting, she noticed that one of her coworkers, Conrad, Bostron didn't look so well. So she offered to take him to the hospital, which he said yes. And so also, not only did she take him, she also took another one of her co-workers just to go along with them to the hospital. Now this person was Pam Head. So she goes more into the story later on. That's why we're applying her, is because she goes on to a kind of weird part of the story. So on the way to the hospital, Scott stopped at her parents' house to check on her son, and also while she was there, she changed her scarf, which was black. So she changed her black scarf to a red scarf. So after that, they drove to the hospital, and it was determined that Boston had been bitten by a black widow spider, which he was treated for. But while he was being treated, Scott and Head waited around until he was, ready to go home. But according to Pam Head, Scott never left her side during the evening. This is good info for later on, something that kind of doesn't really make sense. So later on, when Boston was released, Scott went out into the parking lot to retrieve her car, but after a few minutes, she did not come back. So, of course, the two co-workers go outside to see if everything's all right. And when they go outside, they see her car speeding off. So they think that she got an emergency call for her son and she had to go. And so as the car was speeding off, they were blinded by the headlights, so they couldn't exactly see who was in the mirror, or not in the mirror, who exactly was in the behind the wheel. So that's a really big really type thing. So I will say again that they initially thought that she had an emergency, so they were so they thought it was her behind the wheel because they couldn't see her, so they just assumed. So, but later on, after a couple hours passed and they hadn't heard from her, this is when they started getting worried. So they then reported her missing. Okay, so around 4:30 the following morning, Scott's car had been found. A white Toyota station wagon, and it was found in an alley in St. Anna, about 10 miles from the hospital. And the car had been set ablaze, it had been set on fire, but no one was inside. So, still, have not found her. Don't know where she's at. So, but not only that, but it was only about a week later when Scott's mother, Vera, received the first call. So, this person, whoever it was, called the mother and said, "Are you related to Dorothy Scott?" So obviously the mother said, "Yes, I am. I'm her mother." And so the person then replies with, "I've got her." And then they hung up. Think of how chilling that could be, knowing that your daughter and just getting that phone call. That's just scary. But that was the first phone call that the parents did receive, but it was not the last. Now, after the phone call was, called, the police came in and they put a voice recorder in the phone, but they were never able to trace the calls because the caller was never on the line for more than a couple seconds. They just weren't on the line for long enough. But the thing is shortly after the mysterious calls had begun, Scott's father approached St. Anne's Register asking them to run a story about his missing daughter. So the story ran on June 12, 1980, and that same day, Pat Riley, the paper editor, received an anonymous phone call from someone claiming to be Dorothy's serial killer. Not serial killer, Dorothy Scott's killer. Don't know why I said cereal. Maybe I'm just thinking of cereal right now, honestly. So, what he said was, she was my love. I caught her cheating with another man. She denied having someone else. I killed her. So, this could have been some random person. But the caller provided some details that were not included in the story. Like, she was wearing a red scarf, and that later that night, that her coworker, had been treated for a black widow bite that evening. The caller also claimed that Scott had called him that night from the hospital. But if we zoom back a little bit beforehand, Pam had said that Scott was with her all night, and she still insisted that Scott never left her side. And as far as anyone knew also, and that Scott had no serious boyfriend at the time of her death. But the police were thinking, yeah, that's the person. That's her killer. The person who called was her killer, and it must just be crazy ass bitch. That's what I think. But besides that, during all this time, Scott was still missing, and it was nearly 2 months later, on August 6th, 1984, that two construction workers would discover charred bones near St. Anna Canyon Road. So the bones included a human and a dog's remain side by side. And the authorities believed that they had been there for some time because as a brush fire had swept through the area in 1982, and likely that explained the charred condition of the bones. But now you see, though there was no cause of death that was able to be established, there was a turquoise ring and watch that were found on the remains, and the bones were identified as Scott's through the dental records. And String's phone calls had stopped in April of 1984, but they resumed after Scott's remains were found in August. But in spite of the killer's calls, Scott's murder still is like a mystery, and it's never been resolved. So it's kind of sad. But besides that, I'm just gonna stop right here. And I know I don't know how to say turquoise, so turquoise. I say turquoise, and it's wrong way to say turquoise. I have like a turquoise. I don't know how to say turquoise. I can't say turquoise. Turquoise, is that how you... Oh, did I just say it? Oh, I was saying turquoise. Turquoise. Did I just say, you guys? Did I just figure out how to say turquoise? I did. Oh my god. Look at me learning how to speak for my first time on camera. Okay, but besides that was a little... But I just wanted to, I'm sure people watching are gonna be like, did this girl just say turquoise? Yeah, I said turquoise. Okay, I got it. There's no R. Turquoise, or whatever. I don't even I'm saying it with an O, not a turquoise. It's turquoise. I'm still looking up. But again, besides that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like more of these types of videos, yeah, you man. If you talking to my dog, you're very vocal. But if you would like any more of these types of videos, make sure to go down in the comments below and comment and tell me what other types of videos you want or what you would like me to do a video on, because I would love it and I would surely enjoy doing it. So, also, make sure to go follow me and Jasmine on our social handles. I will be putting those down below in the description. And, also, make sure to like and subscribe because your girl needs it. And turn on that notification bell too. I know I say this twice, but turn on the notification bell so you get notified. And also make sure to go follow our Instagram, dizzycrackers.19. That will be right here. And make sure to have a nice day, have a nice night, and have a nice life. Thank you for watching. Bye.